everything about this track, from the carousel to turn 5 to Canada Corner. It's just got so much character.
It's phenomenal here. The track, first of all, around the track is just absolutely beautiful, but the track itself it's high speed. It's got some technical areas to it, and you can really hammer it down and see what you're worth.
Kink's fast. The whole track's fast. I mean, we're seeing 172, 173 mile an hour down the front straightaway, so you're honking here.
It's a very high-speed kink. It's a little intimidating, I would have to say.
That really scares you because of the walls, but
you just gotta hold on.
It's intimidating. It's impressive, though.
And Road America, Wisconsin certainly was impressive for rounds 5 and 6 of NARRA's USGT Championship and Whelen US Time Trial Championship. As usual, a number of celebrities were present. Hollywood stuntman Darren Prescott and IndyCar driver Richie Hearn on track in the SRT Viper Cup.
Last time I was here with the IndyCar, we're doing 200 plus down the straightaway. The only thing is for me, like, I'm not used to driving a car with the engine in the front, so it takes me a little bit to get used to the weight, how heavy the car is. So that's why I'm usually better on Sunday than I am on Saturday.
Also racing, SRT head honcho Ralph Gilles, who confirmed a rumor that a Fiat series might also join NARRA.
Fiat and racing go hand in hand, especially Americans. They remember fondly the Alfa Romeos and the Fiats and whatnot. And obviously, it's very expensive to run a series. So we're thinking, hey, we already rent the tracks out. There's a lot of synergies, and a lot of these, the Viper Nation is so friendly. They're like, why not? So we haven't put anything down on paper yet. We're looking at the possibility of running a co-series where it'd all be Fiats and everything. Would mix them up with Vipers, but they get their own block of time to run during the weekends. But that's an experiment right now, and stay tuned for that.
Given the track's proximity to Johnsonville, teams, family and friends were officially welcomed to the region by CraftLogic Software with beer and brats. Friday's practice coinciding with the last track-based stages of Brock Yates' grueling week-long One Lap of America. The spectacles stopping the paddock, particularly the GT field, as one of their own, Steve Loudin and yours truly, took to the track in the NARRA-backed Hemi hearse. The time trial action then continued in the Whelen USTTC. New names filling the TT3 ranks and battling hard. The Mitsubishi Evo of Jeremy Dial putting in his best during Session 2. But in the final run, David Gronke found more to finish 2 100s up to take the win. Both men impressed by the competition.
I'm embarrassed to say I found this event by a fluke and signed up only a week ago, not knowing what was out here, and looking at the times and the capabilities of the Vipers, pretty impressive.
I was very surprised at how high the level of competition is with NARRA. I would say it's one of the top series in the country.
In TT2, point leaders Tanya Mazak and Tim Jelly met their match, a pair of Porsches. John Matchell giving the mark another win with Theo Hoffman home third. While only 3/10 separated, a trio of Vipers at the top of TT1. Seth Polanik taking the win from Keith Prokurik and Richard Starter. Fastest of all on Saturday, Keith Anderson in the no-holds-barred Unlimited class with a 2:23 flat. The Corvette of Jason Kennedy second, with Jeff Bolden returning to the series with a podium. In the GT Championship, Canadian Fred Roberts immediately made his presence felt, battling for pole with Jim Booth while testing for his next World Challenge outing. Jim Stout and Mike Hartley filled the second row, Kathy Stout the pole sitter in GT2, while the Leonard Brothers weekend finally started heading in the right direction.
Well, we got here on Friday morning, and we didn't even get the car on the track before an oil line let go. I went out on the track and for the first session, just trying to get acquainted with the track, and the car is just all over the place. We bring the car in to try to find what the worn suspension component is, and while we're looking the car over, we find out we got a busted radiator. So basically our shot Friday was shot, so we're once again spotting the rest of the field 5 practice sessions at a brand new track we've never been to before. But the crew worked hard, got the car ready. We come out this morning, started blistering some laps, knock a few seconds off every time out, and we got something for them when it's time to race.
We got to shine for the mark, you know. We're going to have something for the Vipers.
Which led to the weekend's biggest question.
We're enjoying the sounds of the wonderful high horsepower cars here at Road America. Got us thinking, which sounds better, Corvette exhaust or Viper exhaust?
What kind of question is that? That's not a question.
Always Viper exhaust. Always. Corvette exhaust. Vipers are tugboats.
Viper.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The Viper exhaust sounds the best.
Corvette exhaust.
I like Whelen. The sound of Whelen.
Whelen's cars.
Whelen's cars are unbelievable. They're wicked.
I don't know. What do you think?
Corvette.
Our car.
Welcome to another episode of Racing No Filter. Joining me in sunny California, Bill Wood, and down in sunny Florida, Peter King.
We're going to take a look at some of the products HPD has created for the 2012 Honda Civic, and specifically we're going to show you how to install an adjustable sway bar.
Until then, folks out there, you take care.
In the GT Championship, the field too wide all the way from the green into turn 1. Lassier nearly hitting Hartley, Loudin slipping past Kathy Stout, and Morgan past Hartley, before Jim Stout got the squeeze on lap 2 from Roberts, who after insisted all was fair in love and war.
No, I mean, I think once you start racing at this level, it's a matter of I'm from Canada, so it's a matter of millimeters. It's not about meters, etc. So you're very comfortable. We give each other racing room. There's a mutual respect.
But after a look, Stout passed the Canadian. Speed South's Tom Leonard also on the move and closing in on Lassier, while Hartley repaid the favour to Morgan. But Lady Luck struck both, a drive shaft putting Hartley out for the weekend, while yet another gremlin slowed the Leonard's car, allowing Stokey to repass. Up front, Booth found himself under pressure.
You know, one of the most menacing looks is in your mirrors is when you see a Dodge Viper. And I kept seeing this purple car coming up on me. It was almost like revisiting Road Atlanta. So I went 4 off in turn 7. Turn 7. Thank God there's asphalt out there, but I was able to stay ahead of him. And so from then on, it was just a nip and tuck. He would close on me. He got me on 14. He would gain 4 or 5 car lengths on me in 14. And then I'd get a run on him up the straight. So it was anybody's race up until the end.
But Booth did just enough yet again to take the win from Stout, who felt Booth was running a little ragged through that famous kink.
It was kind of a nervous thing to watch. I didn't want him to ball it up because we're having a good race and I didn't want to have to put up with the pieces.
So we asked Stout how best to approach the corner.
You can either lift and go at it, or you can tap the brakes and settle the car and turn in. And the main thing is you want to be on the right apex, and then you know you're okay to get back in the throttle and track out to the left apex, of course.
GT2 won by Loudin from Stout's wife, Kathy. Marshall Dickler, the race's only casualty. Home first in GT1 was Roberts from Lassier and Stokey. The big surprise, perhaps, that Lassier wasn't hounding the GTU cars.
Nah, this track is a new track for me. First time I've been here. High speed, a lot to learn, and just being cautious that if I make a mistake here, it's going to be a big one.
Lassier still mindful of the moment that had everyone's heart in their mouth earlier in the day, during the SRT Viper Cup race won by Ben Keating. David Pintaric surviving a terrifying crash, exiting the carousel.
This car is toast. We hit the wall at 120 mile an hour, rolled, flipped. It's completely gone. I walked away.
You know, as bad as the car looks and as bad as the wreck was, everything really performed to our standards. So if you look at where the car crushed and where it kind of broke away, it was all designed to happen that way. And the places that were supposed to stay intact and protect the driver, they all did their job. So really, I was pretty proud of the car. You know, not proud of the incident, but proud of the car because it did everything it was supposed to.
The moment again reflected upon during Saturday's banquet, before Terry Earwood, as usual, lifted everyone's spirits for Sunday.
I've never come across an organization that's better run and has more fun than NARRA does. For example, every weekend on a Saturday night, there's a banquet that everyone is invited to. It's very low cost, but it's an opportunity to socialize off the track. The whole thing about NARRA is that it's based on taking somebody who is a streetcar driver and giving them opportunities to get the most out of their streetcar. For example, a Viper. Most street drivers will never see the potential of that car unless they first come to the racetrack and secondly, have an organization like NARRA to teach them what to do with it. And then when you get a little more competitive, you have time trials, which is a very low-risk sport. You're all by yourself on the racetrack, and what you're looking for is that fast time. Then we go to classes like the USGT, which is the simplest formula for high-speed GT racing there is in the world. So you don't have to worry a lot about preparation, and there's no rules, and there's no intense scrutiny. It's simply a power-to-weight ratio, and you go racing. And so we see Porsche club guys and BMW club guys and Ferrari club guys, and they come because of the fantastic tracks we run at, but they always leave here saying, hey, I'm not stressed out. And that makes them want to come back again.
The progression working for Richard Starter, who bounced to the top of the TT1 charts by a full second on Sunday.
Last year I was in the HPDE, and now this year we went into the time trial, and hopefully we continue on, and next year we'll be in GT.
But not even he could match the pace of Keith Anderson, who found a further 3.8 seconds to set a new Whelen USTTC lap record.
Like a fresh set of Hoosiers. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Totally exceeded what I expected to do out here, so it was pretty thrilling.
Giving Viper 3-class wins on Sunday was Tim Jelly, who toppled Matchell off the top step in TT2, while Jeremy Dial gave Mitsubishi its first Whelen USTTC win over Porsche and BMW.
The club, an amateur racer. Here at Go Racing TV, we salute you. And we want to give you all the tools and info to compete with the best. Find out how to do it all from your own garage by watching our Club Racer and Autocrosser shows. GoRacingTV.com, supplying all your video racing needs.
We've just come down to the paddock to speak to someone that's very close to me, Steve Loudin. I coach him in the USGT Championship, and we've just finished one lap together. A lot of people are asking in the paddock, what is Tricel Honeycomb? Steve?
Tricel Honeycomb is a lightweight hollow core filler material that's used to replace solid wood materials or solid particle board products when you want to maintain structural integrity and reduce weight. This is actually a sample of a load floor out of a BMW X5. Currently there are about 25 different models of vehicles used that use Tricel Honeycomb in the interiors. Primarily it's for the load floor behind the back seats and the sunroof shade in the passenger compartment.
In motorsport, weight reduction and the concept of honeycomb has been used for a very long time, usually Kevlar. Is there any chance that we'll see Tricel Honeycomb on a racing car in the future?
Well, we've actually had some applications for some club racing where our honeycomb has been used for laminating into body panels. Currently there's a couple customers that we're supplying to that we're putting honeycomb in front splitters, similar to the front splitter on my Viper competition coupe. But in my car, the honeycomb that's used with the carbon fiber is all a aramid fiber honeycomb that you might see in the aircraft or aerospace industry. But right now, we're primarily working on other applications that are automotive related in the passenger car industry. The reasons that we're looking for there is we can reduce weight and reduce costs. And if you can do that in the automotive industry today, that is where they are really looking for. Plus the fact that everything that we use in the automotive related industries is very green. We use 100% post-consumer waste paper, and it is 100% recyclable. So the automotive industry is very keen on green applications, and we've got a product that they're loving right now.
Sunday's USGT qualifying saw Jim Stout stamp his authority on the field while Booth fielded different machinery. AJ Morgan also impressed, as did Lussier, but issues prevented him from making the race. Another action-packed start saw Gorondona getting swamped, Loudin having the look into turn 1, and Booth mighty close to Stout, while the pair up front ran side by side.
AJ got a good jump on the start and surprised me, but the Lee Carducci aero engine ran real well for me, and I was able to pedal up ahead of him.
But the biggest surprise was David Leonard, up from 2nd to 7th by turn 5. A few laps later, Gorondona found himself going backwards again.
Going into turn 6, came in hot, and it really felt good. The car turned like I wanted to, it just turned a head bit too much, and I did a 360 right there in front of him, and he clipped the rear end of my car, and it was really no damage, just did a quick burnout and right back on the track.
Regaining his composure, Gorondona got some of the positions back. All the while, Stout was untouchable as Morgan and Leonard battled it out.
I tell you what, that was one of the most fun battles I ever had with a Corvette. I think that's what we're all expecting with ALMS, with the Viper versus Corvette, so hopefully that was a good little prequel to what we see this summer.
Morgan claiming 2nd when the Speed South car experienced problems yet again. Booth promoted to 3rd. 4th place Stokey, the winner in GT1. While disaster struck for Loudin on the final lap. A blown tyre leaving him stranded and handing Kathy Stout the GT2 win. And while the Leonard's day ended in the pits, they were just as upbeat as usual.
As far as NARRA, I mean, we couldn't be happier here. We ran with PBOC, NASA, SCCA, you know, we ran with all of them. And by far, this is the most fun, most cordial people that I've been around at a track.
Well, we thought last year that running with NARRA was going to be a really great ticket. Unfortunately, a lot of these guys have gone home and bought some new hardware and brought it out. So we've got a little ways to go yet to get competitive with the front runners, but we're going to get there, and it's a blast. It's a challenge, and that's what we were looking for.
A challenge that will continue for Speed South and all of the USGT and Whelen US Time Trial Championship drivers next time in New Jersey.